What's up? Backwoods Barber here. I haven't done a video in a while. Busy, man. Busy shop. Cut a lot of heads, man. I'll give you an example. Like last Friday, I stood in front of my chair at 8:30 and I did not move from that chair until 6:30. So it's kind of hard to film and stuff. I need to start filming more. But like I said, I'm not a barber to become YouTube famous. I'm a barber to cut hair. Anyway, today we're gonna talk prices. So me, you can look at my Instagram, you can see all my stuff, see the quality of cuts that I do. I charge $25 for a haircut. Now I know with the market, I could charge $40 if I wanted to. But I don't, because I just don't. But, so you got some of these barbers that are out here charging $60, $80, $100, $100. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on the prices that are going on right now. So I'm gonna get right off the rip. The only difference between, you can get a bad haircut. Don't get me wrong. I see them all the time, and like I always say, my MO is I'm not the best barber. I just try my best. That's it. But the difference between $25 haircut and a $100 haircut, 100% is enhancements. All these pictures that you see on Instagram and all this stuff, if you notice, the people's lineups are dark and they're just, it's paint, man. It is paint. I have the stuff. I don't really use it unless people want it. Enhancements are made for people that have kind of a really bad hairline, and they're meant to enhance, not to paint in mistakes. All right, some guys will literally, I don't have no hair, but you got your vertical bar that comes down here. You can see where I put that line right there. Some guys will push your bar all the way back here and they'll paint it to right here. And then they'll take a straight razor and make this super pencil crispy line. But the problem is that's not your lineup. It's fake. And when you take a shower, your haircut goes down the drain. But that is kind of the only difference between a $100 haircut and a $25 haircut. If both barbers cut good, you can get a crappy haircut. Trust me. You can get I've seen cuts that people paid $40 to $50 for that to me were not even worth free. But everybody has to learn. I started at the bottom. Everybody will get better. All right. Everyone has potential to be better. The only time your cut should be in the $180 to $100 range is if you're doing a house call. All right. Oh, baby, early. House calls are hard because there's two things that will cripple a barber in his cuts: a bad chair and bad lighting. When you go to someone's house, they're gonna have bad lighting and they're probably gonna have a kitchen chair, so you're gonna be slumped over. So for that inconvenience, you're charging them $100. It's harder for you to do the cut. They're making it harder. Now I do cuts that are $50 and up. Some people pay me $50, $60, $70 for a haircut. But I do early morning cuts. That's when I charge more. So I open my shop at 9. All right. If somebody wants to come in at 8 and they call me to make a special appointment, it's gonna be more money. And I'll be honest, if someone who's a big tipper calls me and says they want to cut at 8, I'll open the shop at 8 for them. It's worth it for me. You got to realize if you do a little bit extra for your barber, he do a little bit extra for you. If you do the bare minimum for your barber, he's going to do the bare minimum for you. That's all barbers across the board, man. If I got somebody that I know, first of all, tipping's not mandatory. It's not. People tip you if they like you and like your service. They're giving you a tip to say thank you. You went far and beyond. So you give somebody, I'll give you an example. I got a guy that comes and he gets a cut. His cut, beard, and hair is 35 bucks. He gives me 70. If I'm sitting here, like right now, what I'm doing, I'm sitting in my truck. Because my shop is so packed, if people see me sitting out there, they're going to pull up. So I eat my breakfast and I drink my coffee in my truck. Okay? If I see that guy pull up that pays me 70 bucks for a cut, I'm going to go open the shop earlier and I'm going to take him before I even open. But whatever. Like I'm saying, the only difference between those expensive cuts and the cuts that are cheaper is attention to detail. You gotta look at these cuts, man. Some of these cuts, some people will do a fade and they'll take an airbrush and they'll blend down the fade. I mean, it looks good for like a minute or maybe like a day. You know, it's if people want to pay that to have a haircut that's gonna only last you, like the actual really expensive $100 you paid is only gonna last you a day or two, it's cool. You're going to do prom pictures or something, I get it. But your goal as a barber should be to be able to make a cut look that good natural. There's tricks to get darkness in the vertical bars and stuff. There's tricks. You just do your fades lower and stuff. Straight raising is what separates you from a barber. The barbers. Right? If you straight raise really good, you make your lines crisp. But the prices today, man, I mean, it's just crazy, man. I mean, I know times have changed, money has changed. When I was cutting back in 96, it was $10 for like as you guys call it, a low taper, or some of you just call it a 9.5, some of you just call it a temp fade, but that was $10. People would give me 20. A skin fade was 15. People would 20, 25. And that's at 96. So I'm still cutting at pretty much 96 prices. And you got to realize since 96, I've probably got a little better since then. You got to think. But, man, a $100 haircut is overrated, man. If I got to go to a barber, I'm not paying more than $40. I'm not for a haircut. I mean, I cut my own hair. I mean, if you're doing the beard and everything and they make it really good, I give them 50. But that's because I'm tipping and I like the cut. The cut needs to be base 30 bucks. And I say 10 bucks for the beard. So it needs to be a $30 to $40 cut. That's normal. A lot of these people come right out of school. They can't straight raise for crap. They can't do a lineup, but they know how to use enhancements because you put a paint on the head. It's real easy to manipulate paint versus manipulating people's hair. When you're making, like some people's beards are just like, I mean, you can see mine's grown in. But when I do mine is a tight line. I'm letting it grow in because you see I push it down a bit. So I'm letting it grow up to about right here. But yeah, when you put a little bit of enhancements, it does look better. But when you paint the whole face and their face looks like paint, I mean, I'm not a fan of it, man. Maybe because I'm old school. But the prices today are out of control, man. I mean, you know, these new barbers are coming out buying the gold clippers and the gold this and the gold that. Man, if you're good, you can cut with a pair of Walmart pet clippers and do a fade. Okay? How you set your trimmers contradicts how crispy your lineup is. How you straight raise, predicts or just shows how a tighter lineup. So it comes more down to skill. Anybody can paint. My daughter can paint. She's 15 years old. But I just think today's prices are overrated, man. They're overrated. It's crazy what the people are charging for prices. I mean, if you're cutting somebody who's like, say you're cutting a basketball star, he comes to your shop. Okay, he's probably going to give you $100 for the cut. But I don't mean you got to start charging $100 to everybody else because you cut one superstar or one rapper who gave you $100 or $200, $300 for a cut. I had a guy give me $200 for a cut. Does that mean I figure I'm worth $200? I'm going to raise my prices to $200? No. That guy was that happy with his natural cut with no enhancements. So I'm just telling you guys off the rip, man. Don't think your cuts are worth $100. I mean, let me phrase that right. Your cuts are worth what you think they're worth. I think that's fair. But, I mean, if you got 3 customers a day paying you $100, that's $300 a day. You can just pretty much pack it up and go home for the day if you want. So just think about your prices, man, and think about what you're capable of doing. What would happen if you, Mr. $80 to $100 barber, who depends on enhancements, if your airbrush gun broke? Say you dropped your fibers and all the fibers fell on the floor and you didn't have it. Say someone broke into your shop and stole your airbrush and your fibers, your enhancements, but left your clippers. Would you still cut? Would you lower your prices? Say if someone broke in your shop, stole just your enhancement stuff, and you come in at 9 in the morning to open, and you're charging $80 for a haircut. What would your prices go down to if you had no enhancements? Can you even do a crispy cut with no enhancements? Can you do a good lineup with no enhancements? Think about that. Same thing with clippers, all right? You got, like me, I got 2 clippers that I fade with. They're skin tight fades. Skin tight fading clippers. What if you dropped your 1 clipper that does good fades and you crack the blade? Guess what? That's when skill comes in. You have to grab a pair of clippers that you normally don't do skin tight fades with, and you're gonna have to make it work. Same thing. I hope this helps some of you new barbers out there to realize that learn how to do good natural cuts. Enhancements are cool. Don't get me wrong. I wish I did more enhancements in my shop because it looks better for pictures. But overall, it's paint, man. It is paint. When the person goes home and takes a bath and scrubs, they're going to see you pushed their lineup back to 1983. That's not everybody, but it's a lot. When you really look at Instagram, look at people's pictures, just look. Really look. A lot of people will do a cut and put all the paint on and then record a video of them just like, oh yeah, man, we touching this up, man. Oh yeah. They're not showing you that they put all paint on the head first and they're just going with the clipper acting like it touches something up. That ruins the game, man, because these new kids coming into the game, they're like, man, I can't get my cut as good as this dude. I can't get my cut because you've been tricked. You've been lied to. The person that's on there with their little thing is doing a little touch up like, oh yeah, we finishing this cut. They've been finished that cut. The guy's done already. They didn't show you the enhancements they put on the head. Keep all that stuff in mind, man. For all you new jacks coming out there, all you dudes who are doing natural cuts, you get all the credit. You get all the credit. I don't care. You get the credit. You get the credit more than the guy charging $100 putting enhancements in the hair. And like I said, if a customer wants it, amen. I wish I had more customers that want enhancements. That would make a whole lot better pictures for my portfolio. Don't get me wrong. I wish I had more people doing that. But no one where I'm at wants enhancements. I have maybe, honestly, the times I did enhancement is because I've offered it. I'm like, hey man, I'm bored. I got these enhancements here. I got an airbrush collecting dust. Free. But keep that in mind. Price point for a haircut, it depends where you live at, demographically where you live at. But I'm not gonna lie, man. Like my son, he'll pay like $40 for a haircut, and he'll come to me, and I'll cut him, and it looks better. But like I said, you got to keep the mentality of you're not the best. You try your best. Just because you do enhancements, don't mean you're the top barber in the. Stop cursing. You're a top barber in the city. You're a top barber here, this and that, because you got these great pictures. Just imagine you guys that are rocking enhancements charging that much money because the cuts look that good when you're done. Imagine if someone broke in your shop and stole all your enhancements. What would you do at 9 a.m. when you got to open your shop? Keep that in mind. Backwards Barber out.